Two trucks having sex. Two trucks having sex. My muscles involuntarily flex. Two trucks having sex. Two trucks having sex. My muscles involuntarily flex. Two pickup trucks making love, American made.
Listen up, Auto Thoughts and Decepticlowns. You are listening to Prime Cuts, a non-linear history of the Transformers franchise on television. I'm one of your hosts, Nero.
I'm your other host, Audrey.
And, everyone, let's just sit down for a minute, because we do have to take some time. This comes in everyone's life. There's always a first. There's always a first, you meet a heroic truck, right? A heroic, usually truck, usually red and blue.
This is a universal experience.
And he's great. And he's a strong leader and a beloved father figure. But, it's a part of the life cycle of an Optimus Prime, you see. They do always die at some point, almost without fail.
Yeah, or some version of them does.
Yeah, if they have Optimus in their name, or I guess Convoy in Japanese, yeah, they're dying at some point. There are very, very, very few exceptions to this rule, and it's just something we all have to prepare for when we get emotionally attached to an Optimus Prime. Eventually, they're going to die, usually in some kind of heroic sacrifice. Although one time, Jew and Optimus Prime did get blown up by a gamer in the Marvel comics. Not exactly the noblest way to die, but Anyway,
it still happened.
It still happened.
The point is that it still happened. Yeah.
And it's still happening. And it will continue to happen. There's lots of records. This one is a pretty... we'll talk about it, but this one is a pretty unremarkable Optimus death, all things considered. Yeah.
I warned you about the Optimus deaths, bro. I told you, dog. It keeps happening.
Listen, he's Space Truck Jesus. He's got to do it at some point, unless you're Robots in the Sky as Optimus Prime, in which case you're fine.
Right.
That motherfucker did not die ever somehow.
Let's talk about his death and get into these episodes.
The last days of Optimus Prime recorded here on this podcast.
Part one of many.
Oh yeah.
Episode 39 in Japanese is a global crisis.
Dub? You guessed it. Crisis.
Oh, it could have been globe. Just kidding. No,
global.
It was crisis. Obviously.
Should have been called A.
Right, yeah.
I can't wait for the episode that's just called E.
We got E.
So, we pick up right where we left off. The Decepticons are still maneuvering into position with the Hydra Cannon while everyone on Earth is freaking the fuck out because a comet just exploded in the upper atmosphere.
That's a funny trick to play on NASA.
Yeah, the skies are like weird. They're like green and there's fucking aurora all over the world. It's weird.
Yeah, atmosphere's all fucked up. Wait, hey, you're back soon. Atmosphere's haunted. What?
The atmosphere's haunted. Actually, one note about the intro for this episode. The narrator once again has a unique line for the episode, but unlike the other time, it's actually relevant. He says that the Decepticons are now in possession of the most powerful weapon in the galaxy, which is important. Unlike the meteor,
right? And is what actually happened.
Yes, it is not the first 30 seconds of the episode like the previous instance of this happening.
So yeah, everyone on Earth is freaking out. Rad and Alexa are watching this, and Rad's like, this doesn't seem great. Like, Alexa, what do you think? I'm pretty sure that's because the Decepticons just destroyed the meteor. Thoughts? And Alexa has a really badly translated line here, which is, perhaps this most likely isn't the end of things either.
What?
Yeah.
I'm gonna need you to fucking diagram that sentence.
Yeah, I'm like, I was trying to parse it for a few seconds before I just
Run that by me again? Let me see if I can puzzle it out.
Well, they're talking about, right, and Rad's like, I don't think this is all the Decepticons in store, and Alexa responds with, perhaps this most likely isn't the end of things either. I
gotta enter my fucking mind palace to try and figure out what the hell that means.
Or at least that's how the fan subs translate it. I think that's just an issue of the fan subbers, but I was like, that's a rough one. Not your best work, buds.
Carlos starts freaking the fuck out because he sort of starts connecting dots and realizes, oh shit, they're gonna blow up the Earth. Oh fuck, oh no. And he is just like, he is in full panic when he is like, we gotta get to the Autobots right now and help out. And Rad like kind of stops him and says, let's stay out of the way on this one. This one seems important.
Yeah, so Carlos is like, what should we do? And Rad is like, what can we do? And either Jim or Billy is like, well, it's Jim who's like, let's tell the adults. And Billy's like, they're not going to believe us. And Jim's like, well, they will if we do it with the Autobots. Like, if we bring Optimus to a government official, they'll fucking believe us.
Yeah, and then Alexis is like, yeah, they'll believe us. And then, well, what if they, like, want to run experiments on the Autobots or capture them or all sorts of other fucked up shit? We don't know how they're going to react.
So the entire group is going back and forth on, like, the merits and cons to basically blowing the lid wide open.
Yeah, breaking the masquerade.
Breaking the masquerade. And Rad, like, gets super serious, and he's like, we've been fighting this war in secret. And I'm just like, who's this we, Rad?
Yeah, let's slow down on the we there, buddy. Come on.
What war have you been fighting, my man?
I guess they
my precious 12-year-old boy.
They fought sideways in the fucking Matrix that one time. That counts as a battle, I guess. Sort of.
But anyway, yeah, so Rad's like, we've been fighting this war in secret to protect the Microns especially. We can't blow the cover. And Alexa's like, well, I'm not sure we're going to have... It's either Alexa or Carlos. It actually might be Carlos. He's like, I'm not sure we're going to have much choice soon.
Yeah, I think it's Carlos who's like, it might be that this might be a thing that happens either way, depending how this goes.
Yeah, so it's right. So that's the best part is that. So Rad goes on. It's like, we've been fighting this war in secret, and we're doing it to fight the Microns. And at the very end of it, he's like, I bet that's what Optimus would say. It's like, okay, all right, Rad.
That's what my dad, who will be alive forever and ever, would say.
Dad's gonna live forever.
So we cut up to Jetfire, who is doing some reconnaissance on this fucking spaceship. And he sights the Hydra cannon and says, that is a weird looking craft that they have fucking made here.
Yeah.
I don't like how lumpy it is. It looks weird.
I don't like Decepticon designs in general. They look bad. Yeah, the Decepticons notice him, and Starscream is like, oh shit. Like, why did you come here? Why did you come here? Starscream is still in his existential crisis about potentially having to be the one to pull the trigger on destroying Earth.
Yeah.
And so he sees Jetfire and he's like, shit, god damn it, you all should have just stayed away at this point. But while he's freaking out about it, like, Thrust is like, hey, it's Jetfire. Or no, sorry, Sandstorm's, Ironhide's like, hey, it's Jetfire, and Megatron's like, eh. And Thrust is like, yeah, don't worry about it.
Yeah, Megatron's like, whatever, just fucking keep the shields up and he can't do shit.
Yeah, and Thrust specifically is the one who's like, I don't, like, let's not even bother with this guy, we're on course for the Autobot base, fuck it. And this starts a great scene, where Megatron responds by saying, Squidhead is correct. And Thrust, like, turns around like Kermit curling the fist.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Excuse me, Lord Megatron."
It's fucking So it is exactly the same in the dub, pretty much. But he says, "Do as the squid head says, gentlemen." And he's like, "Squid head, not you too, Megatron."
Yeah. So and he continues calling him it for like 3 times before Thrust is like, "My name is Thrust," and Megatron's like, "Oh, learn how to take a joke, Thrust."
It's so fucking good. Yeah, it's in particular, I wrote down a few of these quotes verbatim because David K, the fucking Armada Megatron, is really just in peak form in this episode. He is the perfect, like, fucking lazy, campy, just insulting all his men all the time. This is the Megatron that I love, and he when he's talking to Thrust, he's like, he says, "You must forgive my men's conduct, Thrust. They're just so giddy that they're going to be returning to Cybertron in a matter of days. And we must keep up the morale of the men, Thrust. Why, I'm a little giddy myself, Squidhead." And this is when Thrust goes, like, he fucking snaps and says, "My name is Thrust. 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 Why is that so difficult to remember?" And Megatron responds with, "What's that? You don't enjoy my earthly humor? Buck up, soldier, or you'll be looking at a demotion." He's been watching YouTube.
He is, they are the twits.
So Jetfire smashes his face into the shield repeatedly.
Yeah, it's not his best moment, I would say.
So first he flies right into it, and then he bounces off. And then
so he notices that, like, the Decepticons aren't firing on him, and he's like, "Alright, well, fuck it, I'm gonna do whatever the hell I want then." Yep.
And he runs in the shield, bounces off. He reports back. He's on comms with the rest of the Autobots, and Optimus, says, "Alright, they have a shield up, just return to base. Don't risk yourself fighting this fucking thing." And Jetfire says, No, I can do it." And he pulls out his gun and shoots the fucking shield, which reflects it right back at him.
He has a great line as he's doing this. He doesn't have a great line, but he's like, "No, I'm good. I got this. I'm good. I got it." And back at the base, it is actually Hot Rod, who, with the most defeated tone of voice I think I've ever heard from him, goes, This ain't the time to be joking, Sub-Commander." And he's just so defeated.
So that doesn't work either. And so Jetfire says, "Yeah, okay, I'll come back to base. I can't do anything here." So he comes back. As he retreats, Megatron calls him a miserable mechanical moron. Or he calls the Autobots at large that, and he calls Thrust Squidhead again. And this is where Thrust is like muttering to himself, like, "I wish he'd stop calling me that. How would he like it if I called him Flathead?" Woo! He's fucking laughing to himself, and Megatron is like, "How about you share your little joke with the rest of us, eh?" And he's like, "Oh no, it's nothing. It's nothing, Megatron." And he goes like, "Flathead, boy, Thrust, you really know how to dish out." And Megatron has the best line read I've ever heard in my fucking life. I want this on a soundboard I carry on myself at all times, where he just watches Thrust, like, giggling to himself, and he just goes, "You are a freak.
You are a freak."
It's fucking incredible.
Fucking good.
I put it in the you should go hear it from the man himself. I put it in the watch channel real quick. You should just go ahead and play on that video.
So it's basically the same joke in the Japanese, but not the you are a freak line read, but
you are a freak.
As Thrust is saying, like, he's like, "Yeah, okay, Squidhead, take us to the other side." And Thrust is like, "My name is Thrust." It's like, "You stupid stag beetle."
Yeah, stag beetle. Stag beetle is better than Flathead. Only not all of his head is flat. Only some of it.
Well, I think it's supposed to be that he looks like a flathead screwdriver.
Maybe a little bit.
I think that's what it's supposed to be.
I guess they're like, well, Thrust would know what a stag beetle is, I guess. So they're like,
Okay, they wouldn't know what a squid is either.
That's true. Maybe there's space squids out there that look
There's
exactly like
Insecticons.
Thrust.
I think they would know more. I know more. Listen, I know more beetle transformers, stag beetle transformers specifically, than I know of squid transformers.
That's true. I don't think there are any. Well, there's one. There's at least one squid transformer that I know of. He's in the fucking Seacons from Generation 1. Anyway,
All I'm saying.
Yeah. Anyway, Thrust is Thrust is just such a fucking incredible character. Just a repulsive little freak. Just the ultimate mark, because once again I have to applaud fucking Sideways for correctly identifying. They're like, all right, this guy is he is intelligent enough to be set apart from the rest of them. He's intelligent enough to have ambitions. But he's ambitious enough to be stupid and easily trickable. Got him right there. Mold his little squid head into whatever shape I desire, like a baby on a pottery wheel.
Yeah, he's not the smartest.
No, he's not. So the Autobots are back at base as they're waiting for Jetfire to return, and they're just kind of talking about this weapon. Apparently Optimus has heard of this thing before. It was like a fairy tale, I guess, which is strange. I didn't think they actually knew about the Minicon weapons before they got to Earth, but alright. It's like the ultimate weapon that happens when you combine all three great powers or whatever.
Sure, fuck it. Whatever.
You're just saying shit, Optimus. Oh, man, don't mean anything to me. So everyone is like, Blur in particular is like, okay, well, let's just, like, blow it the fuck up. And Red Alert's like, well, our ship isn't ready yet, and 2, the Minicons are powering that thing, so we don't want to kill them. Probably want to avoid that on that front, Blur. Everyone is just sort of, like, going back and forth on what the best case, like, the best sort of order of operations is, because obviously it's only really Jetfire and Optimus who can go up there. Like, there's only...
Yeah. So, first of all, also, right, so did you not get any of the Hot Rod, like, screaming that this
no, that's after they, like, sort of begin to form their battle plan. Cause, like, so...
Okay.
Yeah, because Optimus is like, all right, because I think Jetfire doesn't get back yet, because, like, Optimus is about getting ready to, like, head out, but that's when Hotshot, like, he's been sort of in the corner this whole time, being kind of silent. He starts yelling at Optimus, like, this is all your fucking fault. If you just hadn't let Starscream join us, if you hadn't trusted that fucking guy, like, he wouldn't have stolen the Skyboom shield, and he wouldn't have delivered it to Megatron, and now the Earth wouldn't be in fucking peril. We wouldn't have a fucking giant death laser pointed at us. Like, what do you have to say for yourself?
And what I had to say was, actually, it's not because he trusted Starscream, it's because you're all fucking libs who wouldn't just kill Megatron or let Starscream do the job for you if you didn't want to get your hands dirty.
That's true. You could have just let him do it. He wanted to do it. He would have been glad to do it. But no, yeah, he didn't deal with Megatron before this, and now he's got the fucking Hydra cannon, and it's pointed directly at the Earth. Optimus doesn't have an answer. He just turns around and walks away.
Yeah, he's literally like, I'm not deigning this with a response.
Like, well, it's like either that or it's like, well, I don't really... I'm gonna go. I can't respond to their shutdown. He goes to wait in the warp gate. And it's episode 39. So I think it's about time to introduce a new McGuffin, don't you? A new old McGuffin.
Sure, yeah.
So the Matrix of Leadership is an Autobot artifact that recurs every so often. I mean, it was introduced in the 86 movie, and as with all things from G1, the people like to reuse it every so often. Yet again, it shows up here. They call it the Matrix of the Commander in the dub, which is interesting. But it's the same deal. It is the collected wisdom of all Autobot leaders before Optimus, which is bestowed upon the next leader in order to help guide them. That sort of thing. And he just ponders it for a moment. He ponders his It's not really an orb. It's like a oval. He ponders his oval. By the way, I do not like the design of the Matrix in this show.
Really? I didn't notice it as being particularly different than other Matrix designs.
It's really flat. I like the chunky handles on the G1 Matrix. Where you can really, you can pull it open and light your darkest hour and whatnot. But I guess it's all right. Fun fact: this the Power Base Optimus Prime toy that was released in the first wave of this show's toy line actually has a molded Matrix in the sort of chest flap of Optimus Prime. So it's been there from the beginning, I think.
That's cool.
But you wouldn't know it unless you had the Super Base toy, I guess. So yeah, he's sort of pondering this. Jetfire returns to give his report, and he kind of hastily shoves it back into his chest, like, whoop, can't. I don't know why he can't let Jetfire see it. Technically, he's second in line. Technically. As we see in a moment, as we see in the next episode, perhaps he doesn't want to be second in line for that particular responsibility.
Yes.
But yeah, so Jetfire returns and is like, okay, well, the good news is they can't fire yet. That's why they have their shields up. I deduce. The bad news is they will be able to fire shortly, so we need to figure something out soon. Everyone else, all the other Autobots head in, pile into the fucking warp gate room, including Hotshot. So let's see. So
Hot Rod. So specifically, again, the Hot Rod's like, "Take me with you, and Jetfire's like, "Don't be stupid, Hot Rod. You can't fly.
You can't fucking fly, idiot." It's like, but I have Jolt. I can fly. It's like, that's a helicopter, bro.
Yeah.
What do you think don't work in space, Hotshot? Helicopters. There was also a bit where Hotshot was like very dramatically like slamming his fist on the ground and like crying out for vengeance on Starscream right after Optimus leaves.
Yeah, kind of a drama queen.
Very angsty. These two episodes, very angsty Hotshot we get in the next episode.
Like, get over it, am I right?
Bro, it's only your fucking lifelong mentor who you saw fucking explode into, like, shards of metal, dude. It's fine. Just get over it, bro. What do you mean your last conversation with him was you screaming your head off at him? That's fine, dude. Don't worry about it. Anyway, yeah, so Optimus says, like, for the record, I do not regret accepting Starscream into our ranks. I took a chance, and I still think that with time, we can make it work.
Yeah, he was like, Starscream had a change of heart, and there's nothing we can do about that. But that doesn't mean, he was saying, like, that doesn't mean that he wasn't fully prepared to do the work that needed to be done, as an Autobot when he joined us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then he like, Hotshot, I need you to do me a favor. And
I need you to become Rodimus.
Yeah, I need you to live up to your G1 name, Hotshot. So he says, this is the Matrix of the Commander. It holds the collected wisdom of all of the ages past of Autobot leaders, and I want you to keep it safe until I return. And just like Ultra Magnus, he says, very unlike Hot Rod, more of an Ultra Magnus one here. He says, I couldn't control that responsibility. I'm just a soldier. And he does not take the Matrix, and instead turns his back on Optimus. And he does not see him leave. By the time he turns back around and Optimus and Jetfire leave, they are gone.
Yeah, and he feels bad.
He feels bad, and he's about to feel way worse. The humans are also here, and the kids are also here, and Optimus specifically says, like, stay here, do not do anything. I don't want you anywhere near this fight. This is, like, real shit. Let me and Jetfire handle it. So Starscream is still on the deck of the Hydra Cannon going, oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck. And Megatron's like, so, cannon's almost ready. You gonna fire it? You gonna fire it, dude?
And Starscream's like, 404 error.
It's like, Starscream, Thrust like leans in and is like, hey, remember the plan, bro? Just shoot the fucking cannon, and Megatron will trust you again, and we can get into his good graces, and then you can fucking kill him.
Yeah, and Starscream's like, bro, we are so past this point. Also, I still can't fucking stand you.
I was like, one, take 2 steps back, please. Also, I have to, we are so far over our heads, Thrust. And Megatron's just like, all right, Starscream, your loyalty has wavered, but every time you have gone astray, you have come back to me, and I need you to demonstrate that you are here to stay this time, or else there will be permanent consequences. So pull the trigger. The cannon's ready, shields are going down, because obviously you don't want to fire that thing inside of the, deflector shields. That seems like a bad thing to do. But as soon as the shields come down, they come under attack from Jet Optimus. He's here. And they're blasting the shit out of the Hydra Cannon.
Yeah. And it's kind of like Luke destroying the Death Star.
Oh yeah,
where he's just flying over. They're just flying over and shooting down into the crevices in between this giant ugly ship. Yeah,
absolutely. They're doing some trench runs here. And at a certain point, so Megatron is obviously all right, everyone fucking get on deck and kill those assholes. In this episode in particular, Megatron is drawn with some fangs. He's got sharp teeth in this episode. You can very clearly see when he's sort of yelling his head off about things. Jetfire and Optimus disengage their power link, and Optimus is like, all right, I'm going to go grab the minicons. I need you to run interference. And so they're doing the old divide and conquer tactic. Jetfire encounters Demolisher and Cyclonus and does some fucking sick shit with his gun.
It's so sick. Specifically, what he does with Ironhide is fine. It's whatever. But as he's taking care of Ironhide, Sandstorm is coming up behind him, and he, without looking at him, raises his arm back and shoots Sandstorm. And Sandstorm has a great line here where it's like, you can see me from the back of your head?
It's no, you're just very loud. Also, forget what I said about helicopters not working in space. Don't worry about it, it's fine.
Yeah, we don't need, listen, we don't need air to push down on to make helicopters work. I think
Cyclonus might just work on troll physics. I think that he's just so stupid that it just works. That's what I choose to believe. He's like fucking Warhammer 40k orcs. He just thinks he's flying, and so he does. And that's beautiful for him. I love that. Also, I don't know.
Beautiful.
I think it's pretty cool that Jetfire shoots a fucking gigantic flame beam at Demolisher. It looks pretty sick, as far as laser shots in this anime look. So Cyclonus and Demolisher are handled readily, and Megatron just looks at this and goes, God damn it, Starscream, get out there and kill him. And
Starscream is only too happy to be away from this death beam.
Yeah, it's all right, yeah. Whew. All right, good, I don't have to pull the trigger. Wait, should I have to fight Optimus?
Yeah,
God damn it.
Well, I'm no longer Piglet, but on the other hand,
so he and Wheeljack head out there to fight Jetfire. Optimus is going to try and destroy he's going to rip the cannon apart with his bare fucking hands. Because he's like that. Well, first he's shooting it with his weird knuckle blast that I still don't really understand.
Oh, the things he does when he dies from making it clap too hard on Instagram.
Yeah. Well, no, that's in a few minutes. So he's doing that. He goes to actually just start tearing it apart, and this is when Tidal Wave fucking guns him down from behind and keeps him pinned. So Jetfire obviously sees this, but he is also pinned with Starscream and Wheeljack looking at him. But Starscream is like, oh shit, Optimus is gonna die. I love this because this is like, so Starscream was like, I can't just sit here. I want to help him, but I can't actually help him. I can't make it look like I'm helping him. So instead what he does is he runs a Jetfire. Very obviously, I am here to attack you.
Yeah, he's protecting the kayfabe, I think,
he
is what we're
absolutely
seeing here. And yeah, so he's like very, very obviously telegraphing his movements to Jetfire. He's like, oh no, it'd be a shame if you used me like a battering ram to knock Ironhide off course.
Yeah, it would really be a shame if you use me as a fucking bludgeon to hit Tidal Wave over the head. And Jetfire says, that's a great idea, and chucks him right at Tidal Wave and knocks him on his ass.
Yeah.
Pretty great. This is where we get another shot of Megatron's fucking fangs, where he's just yelling and screaming and carrying on. He's like, all right, you know what? Fine. I'll go out there myself. Fuck this.
Yeah, we get a lot of his, really digging into, the 90s anime.
Oh, yes.
Images on Megatron in this one.
He looks so fucking cool in this episode. So Optimus is kind of injured, but he's mumbling to himself like, okay, I can recharge myself off of their electromagnetic shield circuits. And as he's about to do that, Megatron appears on the door and just yells, no freeloading, Prime!
Pretty good.
Every line out of Megatron's mouth is absolutely fucking killer in this episode. It is great. So Megatron goes into full blast mode, which is the thing where he puts his tank turret out on his front and just obliterates Optimus with a huge hail of laser fire. Jetfire is pinned by the other Decepticons, so he can't help him, and he is reaching out, dramatically screaming, Optimus! As I think it's Wheeljack and Demolisher who are pinning him to the ground, I think.
I can't remember, honestly.
Just a lot. There's just boys on him, holding him down. And this is some of the coolest looking shit in this episode. So Megatron kind of winds down his cannons, being like, all right, he's probably not getting up after that one. And so he jumps over there and he's like, all right, you have fought tooth and nail for this disgusting little backwater piece of shit planet, Optimus. So I am going to force you to watch me blow it up. And fucking slams his hand down on Optimus's face and forces him to look at the Earth. And is like, thrust, fire the cannon.
It's weird.
It is certainly weird. Getting into some stuff here, but Optimus cannot allow this. He cannot allow the Earth to be obliterated and all of his friends along with it. So he hits Megatron with a fucking Matrix chest blast to get him off of him.
You've got the touch. Oh!
That should absolutely be playing as he fucking floats down in front of the Hydra cannon as it prepares to fire and body blocks it with a Matrix shield. It's fucking cool. However, bits of him start crumbling. Yeah,
so it's really great because I had you've got the touch as my previous note, and then my immediate next note is, oh, he's gray.
Yeah, all of his color drains away. And one thing you gotta know about Optimus, hello, Optimus Prime expert here. He is actually not thriving and full of life right now. As you can see, all of his colors have faded to grayscale, which means he is in his death throes.
Yeah, so, I mean, this is... being grayed out is canonly what happens to you when you die in many Transformers.
Yeah. Most infamously, the extended death scene in the 1986 Transformers movie, yes, where you watch Optimus Prime physically die and then sort of wither and turn gray. And the people who made that movie thought, the kids will be fine, they won't be upset by that. They'll just want to buy the new toys.
There were so many choices that they made in the movie.
Whenever we eventually watch that movie, that's going to be a blast.
Yeah.
But everyone is like, all right, he's doing it. And he's he is holding the Hydra cannon beam back, and in fact pushing it forward so that it destroys the actual cannon. So it renders the weapon unusable, with this like big old matrix bubble shield keeping it away from the Earth. And there's a huge flash of light as he finally pushes it right back forward. And there's silence, and then everyone at the auto base,
he is dead.
And now everyone at the auto base is like, oh, there he is, all right. And then Red Alert's like, hang on, uh-oh,
he's disintegrating. And folks, he sure does.
He fucking explodes into dust. Like, it zooms in on his face, it's just like sort of caves in. And you can kind of see the like glittering outline of his body underneath, and then he just explodes.
See his like brain module a little bit.
It's fucking sick, and like everyone is shocked into silence, including Megatron, who you'd expect to be laughing maniacally, but instead he's just like, "Oh
yeah,
shit."
So Megatron, really interestingly, he's not in the Japanese version. He's not shocked into silence. He's like kind of horrified, and it's really a don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you got till it's gone.
Oh yeah, he's not silent. He's just like he evaporated into space dust, and it's like he's just sort of looking at it like, well, shit, I guess I win, huh? Yeah,
and he's like, well, the Autobots aren't our enemy anymore because they're not jack shit without Optimus, so
I guess
fuck it. Fuck destroying the Earth. Fuck destroying the Autobots. Let's just go back to Cybertron.
Yeah, I mean, the gun doesn't work anyway. Let's just go home. Like, we won. Fuck it. And yeah, Thrust, I've been reading the human Wikipedia. And I've been looking up a lot of things about this Alexander the Great and all of when he had no more worlds to conquer. Just something I've been thinking about, Thrust.
Yeah.
Sure, flathead. And Jetfire gets free, or they like let him go, and like he is just flying around where Optimus's body used to be, just frantically screaming for Optimus. Jetfire's VA does pretty good here. Yeah, well, yeah. So he's flying around trying to find him as the Hydra cannon sort of turns around and flies away, and eventually Jetfire does find something. He finds Sparkplug floating alone in space, cradling the Matrix.
It sucks.
And
this felt pretty bad, folks, I'm not gonna lie.
And Jetfire is just like, screaming to the heavens as he sort of cradles Sparkplug in the Matrix. Because like this is all. He's like, oh no, this is all that's left of him. This is it. Not even a trace of his spark remains. And just everyone on base. Rad is like, there's like, the ending line is a bit much because Rad is like, and there was a star shower after that. It was like the whole universe was crying for the loss of Optimus Prime. And I'm like, that's probably like his body or something. It's like bits of him.
Yeah, well, those bits are crying.
Yeah. So yeah, it's episode 39. Let's call it a Pyrrhic victory, let's say. Yeah, I did say among Optimus deaths it's not quite as exciting, but honestly, it's pretty cool. Like, there are way lamer ways an Optimus Prime can go out, for sure.
Yeah, that is true.
So, we jump right into episode 40 here, which is in the dub, is called Remorse.
In the sub, it is anxiety and remorse.
Just keeping going with that pattern. And what I love, alright, so this is the first episode with the new intro, the new, subtitle for the end of Armada, which is the Unicron battles, which comes with new narration and new footage. And I love this because the new Unicron battles intro immediately spoils, yeah, don't worry, Optimus is coming back. Sorry, everyone. Spoiler alert. He's fine in 4 episodes.
So we obviously don't get this.
You keep your OP.
In the sub, But it is funny that you say that, because basically the opening of the episode is everyone just looking on in, like, horrified shock silence. Except for Jim, who's bawling his eyes out.
Oh yeah, he is crying.
And Carlos is like a full-on denialism. He's like,
No,
Optimus never died. He just no, sorry. He's not full-on denialism, but like they're looking to like Ratchet for an explanation.
Oh yeah,
of what happened here.
Yeah, because Carlos is like, well, like, you can just bring him back, right? Like,
right.
with smokescreen, and
exactly. And Ratchet's like, no, we can't, because he's like, they didn't die in the same way. Optimus never died. He simply curled into a ball, released the energy of his spark, and rolled away. Yeah,
and interestingly, it's funny. I noted a few episodes ago that, like, in his new body, Smokescreen got a new toy and it had a different name, where they just kept calling him Smokescreen. I guess someone at Hasbro finally gave the dubbing team a note, because they're finally calling him Hoist.
Are they?
Specifically, it's really funny. Fred is asking Red Alert, can you just bring him back like you did with Smokescreen? I mean, Hoist. Like, they just suddenly start calling him Hoist for no reason.
Yep.
It's hilarious. And Red Alert's like, well...
That's always been his name. What are you talking about? It's like when they change voice actors for, like, the 4Kids dubs. That's just always how they've sounded like.
But they specifically say they used to, he was like, well, Smokescreen was offline.
Okay. That's
it's
funny.
specifically he's like, Smokescreen's offline, but we were able to salvage his spark and reformat him into Hoist. So I guess at some point, Smokescreen was like, all right, I want a new name, actually. But he's like, yeah, so Red Alert's just like, there's no way to salvage Optimus's spark. It's completely gone. So he's gone for good. And Hotshot, he's not taking things well.
Yeah, I mean, no one is taking things well.
Everyone's bummed as fuck. Everyone's real sad, but Hotshot...
Yeah, Hot Rod is particularly unhealthy about his coping mechanisms.
Yeah, so we get a little montage. Rad says it's been a week since Optimus's death, and they've... Autobots have been really trying to, carry on business as usual, focus on finishing the ship, but it's not going great. Everyone's really snippy and, like, unpleasant. There's an argument between, like, Red Alert, Hoist, and I think Blur about, like, stop, don't use that fucking tool, I was gonna use it. Like, just, no one is, it's a bad scene.
Everyone is fighting with each other, and then they're fighting with each other over fighting with each other.
Yeah.
Like, people will try to break it up. It is Grap here who is, like he and Ratchet get into it, and I forget, like, Ratchet's like, you need to listen to me because I'm the only one who actually understands how to build this ship. And Grap's like, well, you didn't understand how to fix Optimus, did you?
Ooh.
And Devastator is like, homie, what?
Alright, let's all just walk away. Let's all just calm down.
Yeah, Ratchet doesn't say anything, but Devastator's like, bro, what the fuck?
Dude, that's real fucked up to say, Hoist. Goddamn. So they're trying to build a shuttle, but eventually all of this colors with Hotshot, like, throwing his tools away and saying, this is fucking bullshit. Why are we even trying? The Decepticons left, like, fucking a week ago. How are we ever going to catch up to them before they get to Cybertron? What's even the point of catching up to them before they get to Cybertron? They have all the goddamn weapons. Where's Jetfire? I need to talk to him. And he just storms off.
Yeah.
And everyone's just like, oi. So apparently Jetfire has been going up to the Decepticon moon base to try and find anything, I guess.
Yeah. So, also I had a note here that it's Hot Rod's turn into Tantrum Hole.
Yep.
But an important thing to note here is that Jetfire is now the de facto leader of the Autobots.
He is the sub-commander, and so the position falls to him, but I mean, we know Jetfire. He is like a very competent fighter. He's a bit arrogant, but like he can back it up. He is not comfortable with like being the guy in charge.
He doesn't love it.
This is why he's the pants.
Right. This is why he is the pants in the relationship.
Exactly. And so Hotshot like storm, he like asks Blur where the fuck Jetfire is. And he's like, and Blur's like, I forget if it's Blur or Sideswipe, but it's one of his like a sensible buddies. And they're like, well, he went up to the moon base to do some recon, and Hotshot's like, oh, of course he fucking did. He's always up there. He storms off, and Blur and or Sideswipe are just like, Jesus.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, he's doing real bad. Though, arguably, Grap said the worst thing in this episode. That line to Ratchet is possibly the worst reaction anyone has to any of this in the episode, but...
Hotshot says some pretty fuck shit, too, in a bit here, when Jetfire returns, and he's like, oh, hi, Hotshot. Yeah, I didn't... Everything there is completely cleared out. They got everything. There's no sign of any of them. Like, we'll just have to figure it out when we finish the ship. And the Hotshot's like, yeah, fuck that. Take me with you and we'll pursue them from here. Fuck the ship. Fuck the others. We can just go right now. And Jetfire's like, no. Yeah. Are you fucking...
Como se dice, fuck off.
Yeah, what are you fucking talking about? Absolutely not. We're gonna stay here, we're gonna finish the ship, and then we'll all chase them down. How's that? And then the Hotshot's like, you know what, Jetfire? You fucking suck. There's no way you would ever be... You could never replace Optimus, even if you fucking tried, which you aren't.
Hot Rod's like, I want revenge, and before you say anything, it's not because I want revenge. And Jetfire's like, cool. Great story, dude.
So yeah, I can see that. That's not constructive. We have to finish the ship. And yeah, Hatcher's like, no, fuck that. Fuck all of you. You know what? None of you are doing anything. We should be out there. And everyone is like, at this point, everyone is coming. Jetfire is like, you are way out of line.
Hot Rod is literally being like, I'll kick anyone's ass. I'll kick your ass. I'll kick your dog's ass.
Yeah. And everyone is sort of coming in, obviously drawn by the ruckus. And he even yells at Sideswipe, who's like, bro, what's happening?
Yeah,
Scavenger.
Stepper makes the bad mistake of agreeing with the leader.
Yeah, being sensible and hostile. Like, you fucking traitor.
Yeah, which Hot Rod takes as a personal affront because he's coping very well.
So Scavenger is like, all right, you know what? We need to... He silently decides, all right, it's time for an intervention. So he walks up, grabs Hotshot, fucking slams some coordinates into the warp gate for an abandoned, like, highway bridge, and just chucks him through it. He was like, I'll be back in 30 minutes.
Yeah, naughty Autobots are sent to the Devastator Wiggler to atone for their sins. That's what we're about to get here.
Yep. So
for the crimes.
Scavenger just starts fucking swinging. Like, he is wasting no time in giving Hotshot the business.
They arrive and Hot Rod turns around to him and he's like, so what are you... Whoa! And almost like just barely dodges a punch from Devastator. And he's like, Master, what the fuck are you doing? And Devastator just doesn't say anything and keeps swinging.
Yeah. Eventually he gets knocked down and Hotshot's like, what the fuck? We're friends. What are you doing? And Scavenger says, you're no friend of mine. Get the fuck up and fight.
Oh, I actually like the sub. It's a very subtle difference in the sub, but I like it better. Because what Hot Rod says is, what are you doing, Shisho? What are you doing, Master? And Devastator goes, you're no disciple of mine.
Ooh, that's good. And he's basically like, you're talking a lot of shit right now. And I would appreciate it if maybe you backed that up. If you're so angry, you want to fight? Let's fight. Fight me.
Did you forget the challenge you just issued?
Yeah, it's like you said, I'll kick anyone's ass. Well, come kick my ass. Jolt also followed them. He followed Hotshot in. eventually Hotshot, like, he's getting knocked around, and the kids are like, should someone go stop that? And Red Alert's like, nah. let them work it out on their own. I'm not gonna fuck with that. Eventually Hotshot gets fed up with being a punching bag, and like, and if he doesn't fight back, there's another good line here where so eventually they pull their guns. Well, Hotshot pulls his gun. Scavenger uses his weird hip laser thing. So now they're shooting at each other, which is a fair escalation from just punching. And like Hotshot says, or rather Scavenger says, "Do you have any idea why I left the Decepticons?" And Hotshot responds, "What, better money?" And Scavenger says, "No, I did it because of you, Hotshot."
Devasaur's like, "I swear to God, dude, I'm about to kill you."
Yeah, he's like, "I saw your fucking potential, and I saw the potential that Optimus saw in you, and so I decided I wanted to help you. And now, you're sitting here, fucking being a pain in everyone's ass, and just trying once again to just run off and go your own way. Remember last time that happened? Remember last time you ran off on your own way with your old buddy Sideways? Do you remember what happened? You got your ass beat."
I got my ass beat.
And I was there. That's actually, he brings it up and he goes like, "Yeah, I saw you get your ass beat by
That's
Sideswipe, and I
good.
felt bad."
He doesn't do that in the sub. That's pretty good.
He's like, "I felt bad that I watched you get your ass beat. It was clear you had potential, but you have a bad habit of getting way too in your own head and overconfident and running off on your own." And so Hotshot combines with Jolt and runs off on his own by flying to the other side of the highway. There's like a huge collapsed portion of this highway. This trucker that Blur has to dodge here in a minute when he shows up, because Blur and Sideswipe warp in as Hotshot's like closest pals to kind of continue the knock some sense into him train. This truck driver is about to have a very nasty surprise at the end of this road.
Yeah, for real.
I guess he's one of those guys who's like, "Well, GPS is telling me to go this way, so I guess I'm going this way." It's like fucking Michael Scott driving his car into a lake. Except he's gonna drive it off of a cliff. So Blur tries to do some fucking like road rage shit here.
Yeah, so all of the other Autobots start showing up, and Jetfire is like, again, as the de facto leader, is like, "We are going to beat you to death.
We're gonna beat your ass on the QRTs, Hotshot." So
and Hot Rod's having the same reaction again, like minutes after announcing this, declaration that he'll kick anyone's ass, to people trying to kick his ass, being like, "What are you doing?" Every time one of his, comrades tries to kick his ass. And every time they respond the same way. It's like, "Hey, you issued the challenge."
Yeah. Actually, before he runs away, Scavenger has a good line of, "There's no future for any of us if we get caught in an endless cycle of revenge, Hotshot." Like, damn.
Pretty good.
And then Hotshot is conflicted, and he sort of hugs his chest and he says in the dub, "What are all these feelings inside of me?" I was like, "What? Hold on, wait, what's going on here? Hold up.
Wait, back up."
Hold on, Hotshot, wait. So this is when he runs and everyone is talking like, "Oh, he's fucking plagued with guilt." That's what's been going on with him. So yeah, this is hot. So Blur tries to beat some sense into him, but Hotshot kind of gets away from him. This is when Sideswipe goes like, "Listen, I'm his brother. If I can't talk some sense into him, no one can." So he warps in, squares up, and is like, you need to stop. You need to let us in, dude. This is an intervention." And he pulls his gun. This is when, and he's about to, Hotshot's about to throw down again, but then the minicons show up. All of the various like partner minicons.
Yeah, and what happens here is something akin to a religious moment.
Yes, he literally has a religious vision.
He So the Microns show up, and he's like, and then he like has this vision of Optimus being like, we're not here to destroy the Decepticons, we're here to save the Microns. The difference could save your life. Knowing the difference could save your life. And he, like, again, he's not crying because he's a fucking Transformer. But, he, like, has this moment where there'd be tears streaming down his eyes, and he looks at the Microns, and he was like, I almost hurt a Micron. Like, I almost fought the one thing I was supposed to protect. And he, like, falls to his knees, and when you're touched by a Micron.
He literally has a fucking religious experience. He even, like, he falls to his knees and, like spreads his arms wide and looks to the sky. It's like, what is happening?
You've heard of touched by an angel. Now it's touched by a Micron.
And everyone, this is when everyone shows up. Everyone else comes around except Scavenger. He'll show up later. And everyone's like, listen, we're all taking it bad. We all feel like shit, Hotshot, but we gotta stick together through this, or else we're not gonna be able to save the Microns. And it's really funny because when Jetfire comes up and Hotshot apologizes, he's like, if it's alright with you guys, I'd like to forget about today. I've been pretty cringe lately. I've been pretty
I'm losing followers.
It's not based of me, Jetfire. I'm so sorry. And Jetfire's like, what are you talking about? Whatever. I don't know any of this Zoomer slang. But then, so Jetfire sort of puts a friendly hand on Hotshot's shoulders, like, it's all right, soldier. Don't worry about it. And then Hotshot hallucinates Optimus over Jetfire.
Yes.
And hears him talk again, and he salutes him and says, thank you, Optimus, sir. And Jetfire's like, what?
Jetfire's like, not my name, but cool.
Are you good? Did the Scavenger hit you in the head a bit too hard? What's going on here? Speaking of, Scavenger rolls up, and he's still ready to fight. And everyone's like, no, wait. We're fine. We fixed it. But he's still swinging. He's still going.
Devastator's like, he issued a fucking challenge.
And then he stops an inch from Hotshot's face and is like, hey, you didn't even flinch, kid. He's like, of course not. He's like, damn, respect regained.
I don't know about this, homies.
Now, all right, Jetfire said, and now I know that Optimus was like grooming Hotshot to be his successor, right? To be the next like commander of the Autobots. That's part of the stuff we learned with the Wheeljack episodes. But I feel like Jetfire is saying, "Hey, Optimus would have wanted you to have this Matrix, bro." That's shirking responsibility.
So,
Jetfire.
I was so excited because in the last Optimus, in the last episode when Optimus like presented the Matrix to Hot Rod, I was like, Rodimus time! And then I was like, oh, boo, you whore. And then this time I was like, Rodimus time! 2! Also not true.
Now, there will be Rodimus time in the future, don't worry. Not in the Matrix way, but in a different way. But yeah, Hotshot's like, listen, I will take role as acting commander until we get back to Cybertron. But don't call me commander or anything. That's weird. Like, I'm still just Hotshot. I don't want this Matrix. I don't have the you know, I'm not ready for that weight yet. So
but let's do gotta emphasize that you do gotta listen to me.
Yes, I am in charge, and so we should finish the ship. And we get a montage of everybody working on the ship. Oh, also, during his narration, Rad says the line, Optimus might have vanished in space, which is certainly a way you can say it. He exploded. He exploded. He exploded into a billion tiny pieces, Rad. You saw it.
A million
you watched it happen.
Beams of light.
But also Hotshot.
That's for my listeners who were alive in the 80s.
Excellent. Hotshot has a great addition to the classic, like, Autobot rallying cries. He says, "Yo, Autobots, saddle up. We're heading back to planet Cybertron." Thank you, Hotshot. And then we get our montage of, like, Billy and Fred are helping quarry some rocks. Alexis is looking at some schematics with Jetfire there, and Rad and Hotshot are looking over the bridge of the new ship. And everything is all set for the grand finale, the last leg of Transformers Armada, the sort of space opera stage to take place. I'm excited. The Unicron battles portion of Armada like whips ass. That's where all the good shit is. We're gonna meet some funky new friends and funky new foes and meet the devil. All good stuff. Great stuff.
Don't worry, it's just a space devil. The space devil isn't real. He can't hurt you.
We can only hope. So that is the end of this week's episode. So Optimus, of course, will live on in our hearts forever until he inevitably returns from the dead to complete the sort of Christ metaphor they like to do with him.
Give us 3 days.
It takes the time between death and return is variable among Optimuses. But, you know.
It's 3 days.
I think it might actually be 3 episodes. But we got a few questions here in the Discord. So, let's see here. Actually, I don't think we have any on Twitter, but let me check.
No, we don't.
Okay. Well, then I suppose, first off, from Cassarachnia, which Transformers mother's name is Martha?
Cup.
Shoutouts to 0
Yep, but it's Cup.
Who's he fighting? Who's like an old Decepticon? He's like an old ass Decepticon. I'm trying to think. No one is as old as Cup.
No one is as old as Cup.
I think literally in IDW1 he did the fucking Marvin the Paranoid Android thing where he technically ended up being older than the universe through weird time travel shenanigans.
Yeah.
Let's see. Like, why'd you say that name, kid? Is it Ironhide? Is it just Ironhide again?
I mean, of the Decepticons?
I guess not. Like, there's just no old Decepticons.
Here's the thing, and I think that's like very purposeful because the Decepticons were supposed to be young revolutionaries, and they are.
That's true.
Right? Like, the entire point of Decepticons, regardless of where it goes in most canons, not in G1, but in most canons since then, has been, fighting an establishment that then took a hard right turn to genocide. But
I'm going to go with IDW1 Galvatron because he's old as fuck, but also not a Decepticon. His mom's name is Martha.
Okay. Cyclonus.
God. He's
Wing.
Also, there's so many old motherfuckers in IDW1.
Wing.
Who the fuck is Wing?
Who the fuck is Wing?
Alright, then Cass continues with, is it horrifying or insightful that Revenge of the Fallen turned the Matrix of Leadership from a symbol of leadership and last hope to the football key for a doomsday weapon? I think it's accidentally insightful. Maybe.
I'm not sure that I can give anything to Revenge of the Fallen.
Yeah.
Including being accidentally insightful.
It's mostly accidentally nothing and purposefully very, very bad. It's very racist.
Yeah.
I promise you. I watched it semi-recently. If anyone listening, if you haven't seen Revenge of the Fallen in a while, it's worse than you remember.
Yeah, we will figure out
there.
what we think we're going to do about that, because I do think we need to watch the Bavers movies at some point, but
we have to get there. I still haven't seen the 5th one. I've avoided it up until this point in my life.
It was bad.
No, really?
Yeah.
It was bad?
Not the worst
shit.
one, I don't think. I think Revenge of the Fallen might be.
It's definitely the worst one. Like, I've
Yeah.
seen the other ones. I still maintain that, like, the first one is a genuinely, like, fun popcorn movie.
You know what?
If you can stomach, like, Michael Bay sucking off the troops for, like, 2 hours.
And also the blatant objectification.
Lord.
Of, Megan Fox.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the subsequent ruining of her career. But again, no, I mean, listen, I I don't think there's anything brilliant about Transformers 2007, but it's a perfectly average summer blockbuster.
That is a fine 6 out of 10 film. The other ones are just dreadful.
Yeah,
Pretty
fucking terrible.
We'll get there. Finally, Cass asks, if you were to make Gawain and the Green Knight with a Cybertronian setting and characters, who gets to live racked with anxiety for a year?
It's Hot Rod.
Yeah, who's the Green Knight?
The Green Knight is Devastator.
Oh, Christ. Yes, and this one's, yeah. I was also thinking, like, Cyclonus. I don't know which one he would be, though.
Cyclonus would be the Green Knight. So here's the thing. Hot Rod, in this continuity, at least, we can talk about the other continuities, but Hot Rod is absolutely Gawain, and Optimus is Arthur.
Yep. And, yeah, Scavenger's the Green Knight.
Yeah.
I figured it out. He's even green. He's green, and he's... really, the Green Knight is all about talk shit, get hit, when you really think about it.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I would describe it. Overlord Buddy asks, which Decepticons from other settings would be the most put out by having to search for little dudes? Who would put up a big fuss but secretly love their little buddies? Who would be the most angry at being forced to look for little dudes? I would say Overlord, but honestly, he'd be really excited to get something to make him even stronger, so he could kill people better. So not him. He loves that shit.
Misfire.
Oh, Lord. Now, he's definitely the guy who complains a lot, but he secretly loves his little buddy.
Oh, once he gets the little buddy, he's good with it. But looking for them? No.
Crankcase hates it. Crankcase thinks it's a waste of fucking time.
All of the Scavengers hate it. All of the Scavengers hate it, and Croc's like, suck it the fuck up.
Until they get their little buddies.
Yeah, until they get their little buddies.
Them. Yeah. Overlord Bunny also asks, which Cybertronians have a catchphrase, who actively wants one, who thinks catchphrases are dumb, and who says catchphrases are dumb, but secretly wants one? Alright. So the first one, Hotshot. He's definitely got a catchphrase of some kind. Second one is Sideswipe, because, he idolizes Hotshot. He's his bro.
Mm-hmm.
Third one, that's Starscream. He's the edgy anime boy. He's directly sort of paralleled with Hotshot. He thinks catchphrases are dumb. Fourth one, Thrust. He wants a catchphrase so bad, but one never catches on because everyone hates him. His catchphrase is terrible.
His catchphrase is, my name is not Squidhead, and he hates it.
My name is not Squidhead. Oh, Thrust. That's what you always say.
Yeah, cue canned laughter.
If Thrust had any hair, he would be tearing it out. Optimus Prime asks, I must ask again, can Transformers lore explain to me the world of Cars? It can. You should never look into the lore of the world of Cars. You will find man-made horrors beyond your comprehension. Car-made horrors beyond your comprehension.
Yeah, I mean, particularly in IDW. I mean, in other continuities as well, but I think IDW 1 expanded on it the most. There is room within the lore of the universe that has room for sentient inorganic beings outside of Cybertronians.
They're just a bunch of really fucked up monoformers.
Yeah, there's a bunch of really fun... There's the fucking... what Wreck-Gar is.
Oh, the Junkians.
The Junkians. There's the Junkians, there's monoformers. So there's actually a pretty wide variety of inorganic sentient life, which allows for the Cars universe.
Alternatively,
and the Cars universe is Velocitron. Fight me.
That's true. It is. They're obsessed with racing all the time. It's true. Optimus Prime also asks, with all these abrupt but inevitable betrayals we've encountered, what if Punch/Counterpunch was an Armada? Honestly, Punch/Counterpunch is a very underutilized character in Transformers. He is the deep cover agent of the Autobots, who had his original figure had the gimmick of you could turn he had basically two separate robot forms where you turned him from side to side and he was an Autobot or Decepticon. When you think about it, he was the original Sideways, who obviously has the faction switching gimmick in this show, but they didn't really lean in that direction with him because he's a third party agent working for Unicron.
Right.
So like they didn't really have the double agent thing. Like he was literally only an Autobot for 2 episodes, and then a Decepticon for like 13, and then he revealed he was like a weird space digital demon.
Don't worry about it.
And don't worry about it. There's another okay. There's another technically the same version of Sideways in Transformers Cybertron. We'll get there. That thing is a fucking continuity Mobius strip that makes my brain bleed when I think about it. But he is way more of a like wild card faction switcher guy in that show, I think. Then he also still spends most of his time with the Decepticons. We just really, I agree. We just really need like a fucking deep cover guy who's like conflicted about it,
Yeah.
Bring back Punch. That's what I say.
Devastator, but worse.
Exactly. Devastator, but like way more fucked up about it. And finally, our last question here from Optimus Prime. What do you imagine are the different dialects of Cybertronians? City dialects? Colony world dialects? My headcanon is that only Earth colony-born Transformers talk like the G1 cartoon.
I love that.
They all sound like fucking 80s cartoon characters.
I mean, for me, part of the interesting part of being in a Transformers fandom is what you don't see. And so much of that lore is backstory, specifically about like the various city-states. And because we see that like specific models or like sort of frame types are associated with different cities in some lore, but not really expanded upon, I do like absolutely believe that they have their own, I really like the idea of, so like trines are pretty canon now. Again, like most of my interest is with Seekers, so I'm gonna talk about things with Seekers. Trines are pretty frequently canon at this point. They were a fanon term, again, to make up, if anyone doesn't remember, to explain why Hasbro was getting away with using the same model with 3 different color schemes and charging the same amount of money for 3 different toys that are exactly identical back in the 80s. But I've seen a lot of stuff about like early in the war stuff where Starscream, Thundercracker, and Skywarp sort of join up with the Decepticons, and because the Decepticons are overwhelmingly have flyers in basically every continuity as compared to the Autobots. It's both of them have flyers and grounders, but Autobots are overwhelmingly more ground power, and Decepticons have always overwhelmingly been more air power. The idea of Starscream having to explain to Megatron, who is a ground pounder, no, this is how your army fucking works, dude. And having to explain like flyer culture to him has always been like a really interesting aspect of it to me.
What if IDW1 Cyclonus had like a old timey accent? Ye old English ass fucking accent.
I mean, what if, right?
Shakespeare in the Park, motherfucker. I love the idea of like, because obviously most of the stuff that deals with a lot of that lore, the heaviest that something has gone into the different colony worlds and city states and whatnot are the IDW comics. There's some other series that kind of go into that, like the aforementioned, Cybertron / Galaxy Force. There's a bit of it in Cyberverse, but like you don't really get a good look at the culture because it's like broad archetypes for the kids shows that those shows are.
Yeah.
We got Jungle Planet. They're a bunch of strong guys who like to fight. Got Velocitron. They only care about racing. You got Gigantian. They're all really big and love to build things. Although that one is interesting because in Cybertron, in the Cybertron show, all of the Gigantian Transformers are Scottish. So take of that what you will. Also in that show, Jetfire, his voice actor changed, and he has a inexplicable Australian accent. And the like Cybertron website for you, if you scan the code on the back of the planet key that comes with the toys, has a little lore blurb that he spent like 5 years vacationing on on what are the headmaster's planets called from G1? Like he went to that place and spent 5 years there and picked up the accent.
That's
so
pretty
he
good.
vacationed in Australia and became Australian.
That's pretty good.
So yeah, accents do come up. It's just usually not so in depth as the dialects and whatnot. But yeah, I would like to see that explored more in like a future series. I doubt it'll be explored in Earthspark, which just recently got announced. Which I'm kind of on the fence about a lot of those designs. I don't like that the main guy has like a hologram face or whatever.
I'm okay with it. I mean,
Optimus looks like the fucking Giga Chad.
I'm glad that like Roche is on it.
That is true. I'm glad he's out there. He's got great character. I love all of his like.
Yeah, his character designs are great. He's such a nice guy too. Maybe I'll DM him. Put him on the list of people I'll just DM to see if they want to be on the show. Fuck it.
Everyone go read Last End of the Wreckers, and then read More Than Meets the Eye, then read Lost Light, and then read the other 2 Wreckers series.
And then buy his prints.
Quite good. And buy his prints. I want that fucking... Ooh, I would kill for those prints. I want a big Lost Light #1 print. Ooh, gimme. All right, well, anyway, that I'll drool over his fucking print shop later. For now, that's the show. We have been Prime Cuts, a Optimus Prime memorial podcast. For now, anyway.
And in the future again.
I'm gonna say that every time an Optimus dies, which is going to come up roughly like once a season, probably. Once every other season.
It's how you know it's our fundraising season.
Optimus Primal dies a lot, by the way. I think he has the record for the most deaths of any Optimus. That dude constantly got owned. Poor man. Anyway, you can find us on Twitter at PrimeCutsPod. You can join our Discord in the link under our Twitter. Please do that. I will start hosting some fucking Jackbox nights soon. I also kind of want to... I wonder if... I was like thinking, like, what if I streamed fucking War for Cybertron or something? I don't even know if you can still buy that game or if it still works.
I have it.
I played the fuck out of that game. We should stream a fucking co-op campaign.
I have Fall of Cybertron on PS3, which is not very useful, but I have War on Steam.
Hell yeah, I will see about beginning it then. I'm sure it can't be that expensive right now. It's just a goddamn, they should really just boot the servers back up exclusively for escalation mode in that game, because that is the best horde mode I have ever played. I spent so much time on escalation.
I've never played co-op on it. I just played the main.
Unfortunately, you can't anymore, but that co-op mode fucking kicked ass. It was like infinite waves with increasingly like insane enemy counts, and like you could like unlock various parts of the level. It was sick. It was really cool.
Nice. Cool.
But you can never play it again because they took the servers down. Now all you can play is the shitty fucking excuse for an escalation mode that they put in Fall of Cybertron. Fucking Pretender to the Throne. Get that shit out of here. Anyway, we're on Noisepace.xyz, which is a podcast network. It's Canadian, that's why it's said like that. You can find so many shows on there for basically anything of your liking. Gundam, Zelda, Digimon, Ghost Game. Ghost Gaze is the name of the show, of the podcast. I was like, is that the name of the show? That's not the name of the show. No, it's Digimon Ghost Game. The Digimon Ghost Gaze for that. All sorts of stuff. Just a smorgasbord of pod content.
Yeah.
And you can find me on Twitter at DragonSmoocher. You can find some of my various other projects in various places, such as the complete She-Ra podcast I did with my friend Jane at Podcast of Power on Twitter, a analysis of that whole show. Recently, we just published the first part of our actual play bonus episode we recorded a few months ago with friend of the show, Cass, and Jordan as well from Stranger's Fiction. That was a blast. We played the She-Ra inspired hack of Firebrand's For the Honor. That's a great game. Very, very cool system. You'd also find me at Disney Minus Pod, where I am sort of staring into the abyss of the films of the wretched rodent. Latest one is going to be on Herbie Rides Again.
Oh no.
Very brave of Disney to have their first on-screen femdom relationship. That's thank you. Next time we are covering Snow White, the very first one. And it was all downhill from there.
Yeah, well, at least it's a good one.
Yeah, I might be kind of bored though, because like movies were just built different in 1939.
Yeah.
Maybe not movies. I think people were built different, and that they could sit there and watch anything because they're like, "Wow, these pictures are moving. Can you believe it?"
I don't know. Snow White is a classic for a reason. In my opinion.
It is. I will perhaps like it more. I did not like Bambi very much when I watched it for that show, but that movie is basically entirely frolicking until Bambi's mom gets murked. So I got sort of it was a beautiful movie. They drew the shit out of that forest. You can also find me and Jane's next project, which I say it every time, it'll be true at some point. It will be starting soon. Radio Free Heidelin at Heidelin Radio, the comprehensive companion to Final Fantasy XIV Online, which, as of this week, the free trial is back. They are welcoming you all with open arms to the world of Eorzea. Come one, come all. It's a good game.
Mm-hmm.
Ask Jordan, the guy who hates JRPGs and Final Fantasy, but
that's true.
He's a big fan of 14. Everyone loves Final Fantasy 14.
Yep. You, in no circumstances, have to give it to. But, yeah.
Well, that's it for me.
And I'm Audrey. You can find me on Tumblr and Twitter at Optimum on Prime, my funny robot internet joke. You can also follow the other podcast I do, which is Pot of Greed, at Pot of Greed Cast on Twitter. Also on the Noise Space Network. It's about Yu-Gi-Oh! It's my one true love. But only dual monsters, and now we're in GX, so it's still good. It's just not my passion.
Has GX started popping off yet? Has a certain character appeared yet?
Do you mean the character I'm not going to name yet, who is...
Yeah, the character who must not be named.
Who is a gross hand at the moment.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
That's really the watershed moment for GX.
Yeah. I mean, listen... pretty bold of them back in, what was this, 2004 or whatever, to be like, I'm gonna create a character without any biny. And
Fork is just sort of holding their head in their hands like, fuck, what do we do?
Yeah.
How do we deal with this?
The
answer is just don't adapt the 4th season.
And also add a titty.
Add a titty. God, that's so funny.
I forgot about them adding a titty.
Added a titty.
Good stuff.
That's the first time 4Kids ever did that.
Yeah. Really, honestly, it's really funny though. And that's it from me. So until next time, I'm going to disintegrate into a fine mist, transform and roll out.
I am going to sit on the bridge of my planet-destroying starship with the knowledge that I have won completely and utterly, and yet, why do I feel so empty inside? I will ponder, and I will not transform and roll out, because I already have a ship.
Peace.